Hello and welcome to the Fidge Top 10 Superhero Movies. This is a list of my personal top 10 favourite superhero movies. Any superhero film is eligible, including direct-to-DVD animated films. And of course, as this is my list, only films that I have seen can be placed on the list. So I'm afraid I haven't seen X-Men Days of Future Past yet, so it won't be appearing. Number 10. Tim Burton's Batman. First, I like Michael Keaton's Batman, and Jack Nicholson's performance as the Joker is pretty solid. But the reason why it's only number 10 mainly comes down to the script. I don't like the Joker having an origin story, and the whole "have you ever danced with the devil with the pale moonlight" thing. I get that it's you made me, I made you thing. But I think it just seems a little shoved in just so you make that connection, and it doesn't really work in my opinion. But the film's solid. That's why it's my number 10. Number 9. Kick-Ass. I like the concept that pretty much anyone can put on a costume and become a superhero. I also love Big Daddy. I think is a brilliant character, even if he does look a bit like the Batman, but then again, Batman's awesome. And of course Hit Girl, an 11-year-old that can kick ass, no pun intended, and take names. Just awesome. Number 8. Iron Man. What can I say? It's all Robert Downey Jr.'s performance as Tony Stark, and Tony Stark is such a brilliant character, and it's just awesome the way he builds the Iron Man suit in the cave and then goes back and perfects it. I also like how the design of the suit looks like it's come straight from the comics. I don't think that many comic book superhero costumes can pull this off. For example, I think Wolverine's or Electro's costume would look stupid, but Iron Man pulls it off. Not to mention, I truly believe that when Robert Downey Jr. wakes up first thing in the morning, the first thing he does is looks in the mirror and says the words, "I am Iron Man, and I don't care what anyone says, that happens, damn it." The only problem I really have with the film is it's a pretty weak villain. But other than that, it's a good film. Number 7. Batman Returns. This one's here mainly because of Catwoman. I liked her story arc, how she became sick of what she was and wanted to become something different. I love the design of her costume. Michelle Pfeiffer's performance in general was just awesome. The returning Michael Keaton was pretty good as well. Danny DeVito's Penguin was different. Good, but different. The main difference between this one and the first one though is that Tim Burton was given full range after the first film, which was a massive success. So this one reeks of Tim Burton. Not that that's a bad thing, but you can watch it and you will definitely see that it's a Tim Burton film. Number 6. X2 XMen United. Now this is here because it's the true Wolverine origin story. None of that X-Men Origins bullshit that ruined Deadpool and ugh. We're not talking about that, we're talking about X2. We've got some strong characters here like Stryker and Lady Deathstrike. There's Wolverine finding out where he came from, and Stryker building his own Cerebros to kill all the mutants in the world. It's pretty damn good. So if you want to watch a Wolverine origin story, watch this, not X-Men Origins. I don't even know why they made that film after making X2, that's just stupid. Number 5. Thor. A lot of the complaints for the first Thor film was that he wasn't Thor enough, but I genuinely disagree with this because I like the story that this god has come down to Earth and learned how to become mortal and learn the mortal ways to humble himself. I also like the humour in the film. Marvel are known for not being afraid to put some comical moments into their films. and I think the original Thor is probably the one they did it best, with the exception of one other that may come a little later on. To paraphrase Thor himself, this movie, it's good. Another! Number 4. Thor: The Dark World. I think The Dark World is more of a superior film to the first one, because Loki is more of a developed character by now. After Thor and the Avengers, Loki is not only a character that girls love. As for Malekith, he is a bit weak as a character, although as he's played by Christopher Eccleston, and this film was aired during the same time as the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, when he got struck by Thor's lightning, I couldn't help but cheer for myself and say, yes, that's not for being in the 50th, bitch! Number 3. Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I believe that Captain America and the First Avenger was the weakest of the Phase 1 Marvel movies. I'm not saying it was a bad film, I'm just saying it wasn't as good as the rest. But the Winter Soldier, wow. The Winter Soldier is the best solo movie so far. I love the spy thriller aspect of it, and I'm not usually a big fan of spy thrillers, but wow. I love the backstory of the Winter Soldier, and the fact he looks like a badass as well. That's just an extra bonus. I love the Black Widow. She isn't just a damsel in distress, and that's a good thing. I also love the balls of the direction that they took. I won't spoil it, but it's a biggie. Number 2. The Avengers. It was very difficult for me to choose between the Avengers and my number 1, which I'm pretty sure you can all guess what it is by now. It had Loki at his best. It was the funniest film out of all of them, although it wasn't overdone. It was the first film to bring together this universe. It made me like the Hulk. I never liked the Hulk before the Avengers, and now he's pretty damn good. But there are 2 reasons why it's number 2 and not number 1. One is a negative on the Avengers, and one is a positive for the other film. The negative for the Avengers is the retcon from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The death of Agent Phil Coulson was the reason why the team all was brought together, but with the retcon of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it kind of weakens that a little. Don't get me wrong, still an awesome movie, it's still number 2, but it just pushes number 1 that little bit further. And number 1. The Dark Knight. What can I say? Not only is this my favourite superhero movie, it's probably one, if not my most favourite film of all time. Heath Ledger's Joker is just awesome. There's barely any words to describe it. It's a tragedy what happened to him, but what a way to go out. But as I said, there was one positive to The Dark Knight that it has over the Avengers, and no matter what happens, it will always have over the Avengers. Why is The Dark Knight better than the Avengers? Because it's Batman! And that's it. That's my top 10 superhero movies. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please like, favourite and subscribe. And if you have any different opinions, please tell me in the comments below. I am the Food. Thanks for watching.